Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we'll be discussing about flowcharts. So flowcharts are basically a graphical way of writing algorithms, and we all know what algorithms are, right? So whenever you have a problem or you're given a problem, you would try to think of an step-by-step procedure on solving that corresponding problem. So that is basically an algorithm. So an algorithm is a precise list of instructions that determine what operations to perform and what pieces of data in what order. So whenever you are solving any problems, so for this case, when you're making a cake, you already have a set of rules or steps that you're going to follow. So writing all of those down is basically algorithm. However, when you're writing those steps down in a graphical way, that would be your flowchart. So in flowcharts, we have to follow some patterns whenever we are writing different stuff. So rectangle is basically for calculations. Whenever you are doing any types of calculations, mathematics or assigning values, that would be done in rectangles. Parallelogram is used for input or output. So this is basically responsible for taking input from the user and showing your calculations or outputs that you want to show to other people. So this is basically taking input from the user and showing the output. And circles are basically connectors. So whenever your multiple flows are coming together, you can put a circle there that would be basically connecting all these flows and then redirecting them to somewhere else. And diamond is basically for decision making, and arrows are basically showing you the flow or the order of the whole process. So there are a lot of other symbols that represent different stuff, but these are the basic ones. So this is for the process, diamond boxes are for the decisions, parallelograms are for data, and you would need connectors, and you would need ovals to show when the process starts and when it ends. So start and stop, they both have ovals. So rather than looking into all the definitions and written stuff, we would go into an example to understand how it actually works. So in this example, we can see that the question is build an application that asks the user to take two numbers. So we have to basically take two inputs from the user, right? So we need 1 and 2. Okay, and both of them would be numbers, so we can write numbers here. Then it tells us to calculate the sum of the two numbers. So we are basically joining this num1 plus num2 and then outputting the sum. So that is basically what is asked in this question. And now when we are going to show this using a flowchart, we have to first start with the start symbol, which is missing in this case. So start. Then remember we said that parallelograms are basically for inputs and outputs. So first we are taking inputs from the user, so input first number, input second number, then sum equals to, so we are basically combining or adding those numbers and putting it into another variable, which is in this case sum. So first number, second number, and we are putting that into another variable, and we are outputting the value or showing the value using this symbol. So output sum, and then we are stopping as the whole process is completely done. So this is a very basic example of how flowcharts work. Now we're going to look into a bit more complex one. So in this question, rather than looking into the solution, we're going to try it on our own. So in this question, it tells us that calculate two children's allowance based upon 75 cents per year old. So what are the things that we are going to need here? So we're going to need, we are basically taking two inputs. So these inputs are basically age 1 of the first child and age 2 of the second child. Okay, then we are doing calculations. So we get the age, let's say x, and then we multiply age by 75 cents, and the total amount would be the allowance that they get. So as usual, when we are starting a flowchart, we're going to use start, and that's an oval sign. Then we are going to take inputs. So parallelograms are basically for inputs. So we are going to take, let's say, age 1 equals to input, and you can write in different ways in this position. So you can write input age 1 or input equals age equals to input. The basic theme here is to understand what's going on rather than like using correct syntaxes. However, following the design of the boxes are very important, as they show what the function, what is going on here. So now we are going to take age 2, which is also an input from the user. Then after that, we are basically calculating how much allowance each one of them would get. So for the first child, let's say the allowance 1 equals to age 1 into 75 cents. And similarly for the second child's allowance, we do the same thing. So age 2 into 75, and then we put a rectangle here. So we have calculated their allowances, right? Now our task is to print them. So parallelogram again, and output allowance 1, and you can also write print allowance 2. So both of them are represent the same thing, and then we are done. So we write end or stop, whatever suits you. So this is the process of finding the allowance of 2 children. Now we are going to look into another example. So in this example, we are going to take 2 numbers. So we are basically taking 2 numbers from the user. So there would be 2 inputs. So we can see that 2 inputs here. And after that, we are going to find which number is bigger. So is the first number, which one is the biggest number? So then in the decision box, we are basically asking, is the first number greater than the second number? It's better to use symbols here. So is the first number greater than the second number? If it's yes, then you show that the first number is the bigger number. If no, then show that the second number is the bigger number, and then you stop. And always remember to put these conditions. So whenever your teacher or someone else is reading your flowchart, they can understand that, okay, this is for yes, this is for yes, and this is for no. So okay, that's all from my side. So we have learned some basic concepts of flowcharts, and in the next video would be going into some advanced examples and try to understand more. So if you like the video, please do subscribe and give a comment below, and if you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to comment down below. Thank you.